so much, Peg.
Thank you so much, Peg.
Let's see. I'm from down south. I've never said that before. I get to say it now. I'm from down south. I live in Santa Monica, but I grew up in the San Fernando Valley part of Los Angeles. And I spent most of my childhood trying to escape and get to the other side, the city. And one of the reasons was because everything where I grew up, in the town where I grew up, everything that I loved kept vanishing. I'd fall in love with a shop or a movie theater or a park or a restaurant, and I'd start hanging out there for a while. And this is at a very early age. And then I'd come back a few weeks later, a few months later, and it would just be torn down, you know, like the rest of America. I didn't know it was happening in the rest of America at the time, but, and so I think that I finally got out, and I think I end up writing it. I go back to it in my work because it makes me feel like I can claim it again and make it last. So this poem, I'm going to read it. I call it a story poem. It's called Borrowing Sugar, and it was in an anthology that I was in a couple years back called Los Angeles in the 1970s, edited by David Kukoff. Borrowing Sugar. I used to borrow sugar, or try to, not from just anyone, from entertainers in the neighborhood. They lived in sprawling ranch-style homes with aerial views, front yard aquariums, and life-size statues. Leon Russell on Woodley, the Jackson 5 on Havenhurst, Tom Petty on Mooncrest. Affluence and intimacy, a false sense of security. That was the real Encino. Never had a strategy, only an impulse. I wasn't even developed. Was 9, 10, 11, playing house with a Betsy Clark folding scene and Hallmark reusable stickers. The inspirational kind that said things like, every day is a gift from God, showered with blessings, and I believe in miracles. I was an anomaly in the West Valley, a trickster with a two-spirit nature, a Technics turntable, and a Barbie suitcase, jam-packed with personal belongings. A sheltered freewheeler seeking access and the thrill of the hunt. And I was a bolter, always running away, but just for a little while. Mostly, I was a new romantic, the sameness of my fate as yet to be determined. Love was someone else's story, carved in a spiral groove on a vinyl platter, and so I borrowed sugar, or tried to, but instead, dogs barked, alarms rang out, and I was escorted off private property, released back into the ranch of the Evergreens, Los Encinos, encircled by the transverse ranges, surrounded by the nouveau riche. For months, years, my measuring cup stayed empty, roaming the streets of the 91316, where It's a Wonderful Life was shot, way before anyone was ever borrowing sugar. South of Ventura, Liberace had a piano-shaped pool. Let me swim in it once, called me sweetie. North of Valley Vista, the gullies and ditches connecting flatland to hillside were hideouts, wishing wells of early faith. Faith in the power of everything, canceled out by a voice saying, "You're nothing." Words of my brother, brazenly dealing weed and coke from his bedroom window, dispensing insult and harm to the one most in need of protection. He tried to teach me that goodness was impermanent, on loan, but I had my stickers to remind me of another way of thinking. I had love songs in my head that gave fair warning but made big promises. When the lunatic moon touched my brother, converting him from a tender boy into the opposite of sugar, it was songs and sweets that pulled me across. When not borrowing, I was busy eating. Hostess cupcakes, fruit pies, snowballs, Twinkies, zingers, donuts. I was addicted to sugar. It made me bold and shy, empowered me, sedated me. Borrowing sugar equaled escape from an unsafe home. Fleeing risk by risking was better than staying put. The in crowd lived elsewhere, that much was clear. Over the hill in woodsy canyons with more shade and less heat. Jackson Brown was on Outpost Drive, Joni Mitchell on Appian Way. I wanted to be free and in the clouds, but was relegated to Royal Oaks with its lion's head door knockers and central air conditioning. And I learned how to work my way in by saying things like, "Lend me some sugar, I am your neighbor." It was my only way around a set of circumstances. In search of the sweetness from someone else's life, whose whereabouts were hidden but known to me. That's how it started, this borrowing sugar. That's how it started, this running away. Thank you.